Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have the review of Jyugohmaru. We are continuing the reviews of the products of the Machine Creator Wataru series as well. So this is my third purchase if I remember correctly, and this is basically the partner of Tenshohmaru, because Tenshohmaru was basically based on a pterodactyl, hence a dinosaur. This guy is also based on a dinosaur, which I assume is a triceratops. Or, yeah, that is my guess because of the horn, and there's two more there, so maybe a triceratops, or basically the dinosaur theme as well. So, once again, this is technically an enemy character, but once again, I'm guessing like maybe in the end of the series or late of the series, these guys will be, have a change of heart and now will join Wataru and his gang is my guess. But once again, yeah, once again, I mentioned this before, the Wataru series was one of the first few robot animations I've actually seen as when I came back from the US and started living in Korea. Granted, it was not the first series, but it was also in the Wataru series, but it was basically one of them. So I have like a small attachment to these series, so yeah. Alright, so let's get on to the review. So here we have the main kit, and once again here is the box. Definitely loving the box art going on here. Another reason to that I also like this design is that this is also one of the few, or pretty much the only machine unit that actually has cannons or some kind of cannons or some kind of a hint of a long-range weapon. Granted, Jyugohmaru, I don't have the kit because they're all sold out, that does technically have a long-range weapon, which is basically a small bow / crossbow that he can attach to his arm. But yeah, this one is definitely just screaming that he has firepower. Alright, so I've already made 2 videos and reviews, so I won't be bringing out another 1:144 scale HD Gunpla because it's obviously taller, but this one has a little bit more in mass and bulk, despite being shorter than that. So let's see what we got. Alright, so far, let's go over components. So everything, once again, that is used on the kit, weapons or equipment, is all attached here. They're all built in or inside this guy in some way. Once again, we have this part leftover piece, which it looks like some kind of hand tool. My only guess is that this is pretty much only used by Jyugohmaru's crossbow thing, or who knows. Once again, I don't have the kit, so there's no way for me to check. I do have Jyugohmaru, but he's like a different kit at this point. Now, so far, the first one that I reviewed was Fujimaru, which had 0 stickers. Tenshohmaru, who had also these small black stickers for the head inside, but that was pretty much it. And then finally, this one also has 2 stickers, which are the eyes for the dinosaur head that you see here. So once again, I decided not to use these and use a Gundam red marker. I think I just used red because on the back of the box it was definitely giving out well, it's more of a pink color, but once again I'm assuming it's just the lighting up, so it should be red. Now the color sticker, at first I thought it was red, but once again the more I look at it, it's more like a between of pink and red, or maybe orange and red. So it's very tricky for me to choose, but once again I had red, so I used red. So those are supposed to go here, but once again the sticker, if I understood correctly, now you can see the part I colored, but you can see there's also these extra space around the red eye. The stickers are supposed to cover those parts up, if I understood the manual correctly. So once again, I really don't like covering up like areas like that, so I just decided to just use the red Gundam marker and color only the inner parts, because the inside eyes are actually separate piece. It's a separate piece, so you can actually color with ease. Alright, so now let's get into the articulation or other details. So let's start with the head. So the head obviously is connected by a ball joint, so looking down and up is done pretty well, but of course it does feel a little bit loose compared to the other units so far, but once again, that's just the way how it is on this guy, and yeah, you can see it popped out, but once again, 360 isn't really that, it's not exactly easy because the chin is actually getting in the way with the body, so you're gonna have to, so 360 twist on the head or rotation on the head is not possible unless you pop it out and then, I don't know, do something. So once again, despite the stickers on the dinosaur's head, everything else is all color separated. So you can see even the head, the white, the grayish black, the blue, the orange, everything is color separated. So you can definitely tell Bandai did actually, put some extra effort onto this lineup as well. So it makes me kind of curious why. Because when you think about the SD lines in Gunpla, not the same case. So, oh well. Alright, so now let's get the back. Now the backpack, we have a very a familiar looking backpack. So this is, I believe, is pretty much the same structure, but instead of wings, we get cannon. So you can see the cannon itself can move up basically the wing part that connects the cannon can still go about a 90-degree range on the back. And then because this part is also connected on a swivel, it can rotate. Oh, sorry, it can rotate on its own, and then so you can adjust any angle or direction, and then it can go up and down. So not exactly a full 90-degree, but for a cannon, it's pretty much enough. So you got two of those, so you can definitely tell it's giving out the, this is like a heavy juggernaut tanker type mech. Alright, so now let's get the arms. Now the arms, definitely you can tell that this is screaming that this is a shield slash like armor. So there's nothing's gonna be breaking that one here. So despite how it looks of the backside, it's just a typical shoulder, but with a front long part on the front. So that's a little bit odd, but okay. So you still have the same articulation. So every kid we've seen so far, they all have the same base build. So hence the articulation should be the same. So we still have the butterfly joint and still ball joint connection. 360 rotation is possible, and going to the side roughly 90 degrees is possible as well. And then rotation, okay, there we go. Rotation on the arm is possible, 360, and then you have roughly about a 90-degree bend on the arm. And then your hands are the ball jointed hands. But once again, it's the fingers are the large 3-finger type hands as well. So keep that in mind. And once again, the inside is a plastic ball joint. So, and this is a peg. So there might be some times when you pull the hand out, you might actually pull out the ball joint together. So but don't worry, that could happen, and you can just plug it back in. And no polycaps used on the kit as well. And then you can see there's something poking out from the arm here. So you can actually pull these out, and these are actually combat blades, or like short blades that they actually use in the show. So yeah. Although yeah, it does look a little bit silly for like a bulky guy to holding a small, combat knife thing, but I guess it works. I kind of have a general idea what they were going for, but in theory and paper it might look cool, but in reality this may look a little bit dinky for this guy, but oh well. Alright, now let's look at the, actually let me take this thing off just to be sure. Alright, now let's get the main body here. So you can see there's like a head going on here, and the white part being the mouth. Now, unlike Tenshohmaru actually had a pterodactyl head, and you can actually open the mouth as well, because in the show it actually fires projectiles from the mouth, so that was possible. This guy doesn't actually have that. So this front part here with the part with the horn, the gray part, is actually connected to the main body. That's okay. And then the white part here, which looks like a mouth, is actually connected to the waist area. So technically this isn't actually opening mouth gimmick here. You can see there's no connection in the middle, so it's just giving out that illusion that this thing looks like a dinosaur head. But anyway, because of this aspect, the ab crunch aspect is a little bit weak. It's moving a little bit less than usual, but it's there. So no need to worry about that. And then 360 twist does become a little bit more difficult because of the structure as well, unless you force it or do something about it. So keep that in mind. And the legs are still the same structure as well. So you have a ball joint connection. So no side swivel, but you do have a little bit of wiggle movement because it is a ball joint connection. And then going to the side, less than 90 degrees because of the structure. Going forward 90 degrees or slightly more up is possible. And then going back 90 degrees is also possible. And you still get a roughly less than a 90-degree bend. But because of the SD style design, this should be enough for what it is. And the feet are your ball jointed feet, plastic ball jointed feet if I remember correctly. So yeah, be careful. So here we have the peg out, but you can see on the bottom there that is actually a plastic ball joint, so keep that in mind. Now I think I have one issue with Fujimaru, which one foot was a little bit loose than the other, but once again, as long as you have this on the ground, there should be no issues. So this one also, I believe this one or one of my feet does pop out a little bit easily, but not to the point where it just drops on its own. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the review. So the only thing I can left to show is to just pull these blades out. So these things actually just slide in. You can see there's all these teeth to hold the blades in. And then, you can just plug these blades into the hand. Now, in the show, the character that uses this doesn't really use these blades as much as you think. He's usually a brawler type, so he just punches or tackles his enemies and uses these cannons. So yeah, these knives seem, once again, kind of unnecessary, or maybe if it was a different type of weapon, maybe a hammer or an axe, that might have been pretty cool if you ask me. Or maybe another extra gun, who knows. So anyway, yeah, so, and the odd part is that like, at some point of the series, these guys actually changed colors. Apparently, I checked the wiki, and then apparently the color change aspect was actually an upgrade or power up to these guys. So once again, the color change for Tenshohmaru was very obvious. It went from yellow to pink. This guy becomes a little bit of a lighter color, and I think the orange is now, they changed the orange into a different color. So, but once again, it's like the kit is the same, it's just different color. So once again, I'm kind of hoping they don't release those, but yeah, and maybe release something else. But once again, they did announce 2 more kits, so, and they are different kits, so I'm really happy about that. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. So once again, if you want to have one of these lineups and you want something that has like a cannon or a long range weapon, Jyugohmaru is your guy. So yeah, this is the best option for now. But once again, keep in mind the mashin lineups, they're all based on like close combat or like some kind of samurai theme. So this is going to be a very uncommon one when you think about it. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. This was the review of Jyugohmaru. If you guys got any questions or requests, in the comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out of, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.